My friends are all too lazy to read a rule book or to play a tutorial. So I'm putting this little video together as a rule summary for a board game. This particular one is Steam Rails to Riches, the digital edition. Now, I've done this one before, but I had complaints that the rules weren't complete and that there wasn't a clear strategy on how to win the game. So I'm doing this again so that you can see how to win the game. So you'll notice straight away I've switched on colorblind mode. So all of the colors will come with symbols or patterns. You can see on the right hand side all of the player pieces are patterned as well as colored, which is a nice little feature of this game. So if you haven't switched on random turn order, the very first part of the game will be to bid for who goes first. Now, before we go through that, I'm just going to talk you through the symbols on the right-hand side, which are your player area. So you'll see under player one, I've got a train symbol, a star, a $sign, and a house. So the train symbol is my locomotive level. That will tell me how far I can move goods. The second symbol is my victory point track. Obviously, the person with the most victory points is going to win the game. The third symbol with the $sign is my coins track. That's how much money I have in my hand. And the house symbol on the right is my income track. Now, the income track goes from 10 to -10. So every time I need money, my income track will go down one step. So I'll go down one step to -1 to get 5 coins. 2 steps to get 10 coins, 3 steps to get 15 coins. In the basic game, which is what we've got loaded up here, it will just do that automatically. So if I've not got enough coins for something, it'll just move me down the income track until I hit -10. If I hit -10, I then have to start paying for coins with victory points instead. So to show that, I'm going to bid 4 to go first. The AI gets to bid after me. So they've bid 5 and 6. I don't think it's worth paying 7 to go first. So I'm going to pass. Right. So the AI has played 8 to go first. I can now bid to go second. I may as well bid 1 coin just for the sake of it. So the AI has passed. Right, so now if you look at my income track on the right hand side, I've gone down 1 step. I have 4 coins in my hand. That's because I've paid 1 coin. So that's gone down 1 step, got 5 coins, paid 1 and kept 4. The AI has paid a lot. So he's now into -3. So he's spent 14 coins already. He's got 1 in his hand. So the next step after bidding for your turn is the action card. This will determine your special action for the turn. So I'm just going to run you through each of them one by one. The first one is turn order. So that will let you go first next turn. Going first is a bit of a weird thing. It only really applies to the action card. So you'll get first choice of action card. I'll explain that in just a second. Card number 2 allows you to move goods first. So even though somebody else may have taken card number 1, whoever's got number 2 will move goods first. Card number 3, the engineer. So every turn you can build 3 pieces of train track. If you're the engineer, you can build a 4th one. First build, number 4. That means you can build train tracks before anybody else. So again, even though somebody may have taken number 1, whoever has number 4 will build train tracks first. City growth. This costs you 2 coins to take this card, but it allows you to put goods onto the cities. I'll come back to that in just a moment. Number 6, locomotive. So the cost of this is 5 coins plus your current locomotive level. So because mine's on 1, that would cost me 6 coins. If my locomotive level was 3, it would cost me 8 coins. And card number 7 is urbanization. That's turning a town into a city. So on the board, you have the cities, which are the main coloured hexes, or one of the ones with symbols on the right-hand side. All the towns are the little white town symbols. Okay, so you can turn one of those towns into a city and put goods on it. Now I'm going to take first turn for next turn because it will allow me to talk about strategy. Okay. So you'll notice Earl Harley took urbanization. So the very first thing he does before laying any tracks is to turn one of the towns into a city. That was this one here. He then placed goods on that town, on that city, sorry. Now it's my turn to build. So I can build 3 tracks. Every track has a cost at the bottom. As a general rule, it costs 1 coin for every track exit. Okay, so this one on the left hand side, which is straight, 2 coins. If it goes through a town, it costs an additional coin. So this one along here, now furthest left, has 4 track exits, going to cost 4 coins. Add to that elements on the board. So if you build on a river, that will add 1 coin cost to that track. If you build on a mountain, that will add 2 coins to that track. So you're now thinking, well, what do I build? Where do I build? And why do I build? Well, you want to move goods from one city to another, and the goods have to match the colour or symbol that's on them. So for example, Hartford here has a blue or circle good and a yellow or cross good. That yellow or cross good could be moved to Albany because it's a yellow or cross city. The more links that you send the goods through, the more valuable they become. So to send it from here to here, from Hartford to Albany, that would be 1 link. But if I sent it down through a town, say I went down to Bridgeport and then back up to Albany, that would be 2 links. If I sent, say, from Boston to Albany, on the right hand side here to the left hand side, through Hartford, that would be 2 links. Every link that the good goes through increases its value by 1. So to send it from Hartford to Albany would just make it worth 1. If I send it through Bridgeport, it would make it worth 2. From Boston to Albany through Hartford, that would be worth 2. The aim of the game is to move goods through as many cities before it reaches its destination. That increases its value. So for my first turn, I'm looking, okay, where am I going to go? What have I got on the board? And bearing in mind, I can only build 3 tracks. So down here, Philadelphia, that's got 2 purple or diamond goods, and there's a diamond purple city there. So I'm thinking I might build tracks here. I might send it through this town onto Scranton. So that would be two links. Yeah, it would make the goods worth 2. So that would be my play. So now we come on to the move goods section. So I want to move from the blue city here, the circle city, Philadelphia, to Scranton, those purple or diamond goods. Now the problem I have is that it's 2 links. To move 2 links, I have to have a locomotive level of 2, but I start at 1. So instead of moving 1 good, I'm going to increase my locomotive level with this button in the bottom right corner. Okay, so now we're back to my turn. So now I've got a locomotive level of 2, I can move these goods. So I've tapped on the city, tapped on the good, then used the arrow to move in the direction I wanted to go. 2 links into Scranton. Once you've moved a good, you get a choice of what to do with its value. So bear in mind, my good that I've just moved, moving 2 links, is worth a value of 2. That means I can move up 2 victory points or move up 2 on the income track. Personally, as I play this, I like to make sure my income track is in the positive before I start scoring victory points. So I'm going to pick the income track. I'll come back to why in a moment. Okay, then once everybody's moved goods, you get to move 2 goods one at a time. You then do your income and expenses for the round. So for every minus you're on your income track, you have to pay that many coins. For every positive you're on, you gain that many coins. So I'm on 0, I've got no coins, nothing changes for me. Earl Dakota's income track is on a 1, so he gains a coin. Earl Harley's income track is on -3, so he has to pay three coins. Okay, so let's talk a little bit of strategy. So while I've moved that good this turn, I want to be thinking long term. So I want to be thinking, how do I send goods as far as possible? Now, on this board here, there aren't many goods on the left-hand side that I can move long term. So for example, what I'd really like is from Philadelphia to Stracuse up the top left there. So one option would be to buy the city growth card. That would allow me to put goods on this city. I'm just trying to find the goods page. Can't find the goods page. I might do that so I can show you the goods page. But again, I want to be thinking long term. Once that runs out, where am I going to go? So I want to start spreading out into other cities. Maybe producing some of these towns into cities so that there's more goods and more options for me to send. Other aspects of strategy is you're also chasing other people's goods. So for example, I might want to steal from this city here so that my opponents can't use the goods that are there. So I might choose to build a track there instead, in which case then actually first build might be the best option, or first move, so that I can take the goods before anybody else has the option. I'm going to take city growth, and I'm playing a long-term game here. So now I've got the option to place goods on the board from the right hand side. Now remember, I said I want to get yellows up to Stracuse, X's from Philadelphia. So I want really ideally a yellow and a red, because I haven't got tracks here. It's going to take me a while to get there. I haven't got the locomotive level. So there's the yellow and the red there. So I'm going to plonk them on there. Oh, nearly missed it. At the same time, I've got to build my tracks. So that's the benefit of having a digital version, is you're not going to miss anything like that. So there we go. So now I've got my tracks in place to get to where I want to go. And you can see the AI's probably got the same idea as me, but they've done it by building a city. Now I know I can't get to this red city here without the goods, without the locomotive level. So I've got to put my locomotive level up for one. So now I can take that red good and send it where I want it to. So that good was worth 3, my income track goes 3. That's the basic game. They're the general rules, the aim of the game. You want to move goods as far as possible so that they become more valuable and you can make more money and more victory points. 2 rules I nearly forgot, and I've loaded up a new game just to make sure I include these. So one is urbanization. You'll notice the urbanization has a little symbol on the left hand side. That means that city cannot be used to do city growth on it again. So if I try there, it's already been added to the city. The second rule is this. If I grow a city, you'll see that same symbol appears. Each city can only be built on, have goods added once. The second rule that I nearly forgot is being able to build on top of other people's hexes. So you can build tracks on somebody else's hex so long as you don't affect their building. There we go, this one here. So I can place that here. I can build on top of that track provided I include his existing track. So there you go. Right, so you can build on other people's hexes where they've built tracks provided you don't damage their track. One more rule I nearly forgot. You can use other people's tracks provided you use at least one of your own, but you will give them points for every one of their tracks that you use. So let's say I had from New York to that new white city. I could move from Albany to New York and back, but I would also give my opponent 1 point for using their track. The end of the game, you will score victory points based on your victory point level, your income track. So if your income track is in the positive, you'll get half the income track as victory points. If it's in the negative, it will double and take that many victory points away from you. So at the moment, O'Harley would lose 6 victory points if the game was to end now. You also score points for the number of links that you have on the board. So building tracks, building links from city to city is going to increase the number of victory points that you score at the end of the game. The game lasts for 10 rounds. At the end of 10 rounds, the victory points are totaled up. Now, if you're just going to play the basic game, you can stop here and not watch the rest of this video. But there is a second aspect, the standard game. So the basic game is a bit like the entry level, and the standard game adds more complicated rules to the game. So let me just very briefly show you the standard game. Okay, so the 3 main differences to the standard game. The first is the loan. So as I said, in the basic game, it will automatically move your income track down when you need the coins. In the standard game, you have to decide at the beginning of your turn how many coins you think you're going to need. So you know you're going to build 3 tracks. That's 6 coins at least. You know that you might need to pay for bids or for cards. So you're going to increase your coins accordingly. You know that you may end up not building where you want it to be. As a general rule, for the first game, you wouldn't want to take less than 10 coins. I'm going to take 15 coins. So that moves my income track down 3. Every turn, you decide at the beginning how many coins you think you're going to need. The second difference is the turn order bid. So in the basic game, the next turn order is based on the number of the action card that you play. In the standard game, the rules say that you bid for who goes first every turn. The first and second player will always pay the full amount. The last player will always pay the 0 for coming last. So I'm going to bid 2. The first person to pass will go into the bottom space. The second person to pass will go into the second space, and then whoever pays the most will go into first space. Now that changes some of the action cards. For example, the turn order card, going first, number 1, that changes because you're not going to go first for number 1. So instead, you get the pass action. This will allow you to pass once in the bidding without missing out on being able to bid a second time. Now there's some tactics to that, because you might be able to pass somebody else passes at the same time as you, but technically they pass first because you've got the number 1 card, so they will go into the bottom space. You'll notice as well cards 5, 6 and 7 no longer have a cost, so you can factor that into your bids. You can bid a little bit higher if you know you're going to pay for a card that you would have paid for in the basic game. The third change in the standard game is that you pay coins for your locomotive level. So we said before, at the end of every round you pay for your income track. In the standard game you also pay the cost of your locomotive level. So everybody at the end of this round, say, will pay at least 1. If I increase it to 2, then I'll be paying 2. They're the changes from the standard and the basic game. But as I said, if you're just going to play the basic game, you can ignore this last part. You don't need it to play the basic game of Steam Rails to Riches.